Welcome back. And this is episode 6 of our Timing in Tarot series. And I hope that you guys have learned a lot in this. I hope it's opened up some interesting avenues of your study. And we're going to wrap it up with going over everything that we've learned in the last few videos and put it together to do just a small spread so that you can kind of understand how all the moving parts work. So we will be right back. So welcome back. I am Annabelle of Fortune Cookies Tarot, and this is the conclusion of my tarot timing series. So over the last few weeks, we built a complete framework to understand timing in tarot just a little bit better. And what we've learned is how the minor arcana forms a seasonal calendar, how the elements will show the speed of development, the court cards mark phases within a season, and the major arcana describes those larger cycles of life. So we're going to bring all of those together today. So instead of theory, I thought it would be good if we just walk through a real example of a timing question and break down exactly how to interpret the cards that I've already laid out step by step. So this is a practice session, and this is something that you can do with the same exact question and just pull a few cards for yourself. So, and you can kind of look at how they blend and work together. Remember, make notes, because you do want to see what your development is as you practice to make perfect in your tarot practice. So let's consider this question. It's a really common question that I get. When will I receive a job offer? When will I receive, promotion? Those kinds of things. My top 3 are relationship, work, and family. So work, we're going to put the work one up here. So the timing question is about an external event. This isn't about personal transformation, personal development. So we're looking for clues about the seasonal window, the speed of development, and the phase of the progress of that. So we're going to pull 3 cards, and magically, I already have them pulled here. I am magic. So we've got the Sun, the 3 of Wands, and the 8 of Pentacles, and I have them all in the upright. When you're doing timing questions initially, keep them in the upright. When you start to do reversals, things get a little bit murky. I want you to keep everything in the upright when you're studying timing for now. So let's go step by step, and we're going to use the timing structures that we've already built in the earlier videos. So the first thing I want you to notice when you scan your spread is, are there any major arcana? Bingo, bango, here is our Sun card, best card in the deck. And so when we see those major arcanas in a timing spread, we have to stop and say, is this describing a life cycle or a seasonal window? So the Sun, traditionally connected to solar energy, success, illumination, those kinds of things, it's strongly associated with summer. So right away, the card's going to suggest that the outcome of the situation is likely during a period of clarity or visibility, often symbolically linked to summer energy. But remember, the major arcana is setting the stage for the story, not the precise clock. So we have to look to the minor arcana, and fortunately, we have 2 of those here. So let's look at the seasonal window indicated by that 3 of Wands. Wands are fire. We talked about spring energy with fire. And the 3 of Wands specifically corresponds to that decan of Aries, specifically March 31st to April 10th. We talked about labeling our cards early on. That is early spring. So this card, the Three of Wands, often represents expansion, opportunity. You see our individual who is looking out over the fleet that's out in the water. It's waiting for results from actions that are already taken. I describe this card as this is an admiral who has given the orders and his fleet is out to sea. He's now waiting to see what they come back with. He's already done his orders and actions. There's nothing he can do from the terra firma that he's on. So if someone is sending out resumes or attending interviews, this card suggests that momentum builds this spring period. That's the ignition point. So now we're going to look at the speed of the development. And that's where this third card comes in, which is the Eight of Pentacles. So Pentacles represent the earth energy, which is moving more slowly than fire or air. Remember, Pentacles, that earth energy, is the slowest energy of the suits. This card is about ready effort, skill development. This is a journeyman, okay? So he is humming along, turning out consistently quality goods there. So this pentacle indicates that pentacles themselves are indicating that we're building step by step. This one, we are near completion. Remember that. So even though this Three of Wands is suggesting activity in the beginning of spring, the Eight of Pentacles tells us that the process may involve continued work, preparation, training. Remember, this is journeyman energy, not expert energy. So maybe some more training or practice before the final result arrives. The earth energy slows this timeline down just a bit, but it also shows stability and good growth. So it's, even if it's slowing down, if this were my client, I would say, look, things are happening, but slow it down. Be more intentional than intense about it. So now we would combine the cards, and as you will, some readers will read all of them together. Some of them will read backwards. Some will go one by one and then read them all together. I want you to kind of take them step by step while you're doing the timing business and then read them all together. Three of Wands shows momentum beginning in spring. Eight of Pentacles shows a period of continued work and development. The Sun points towards successful outcome and summer energy. So our interpretation may sound like this. Activity begins building in spring months. There may be a period where you're refining your skills, completing interviews, demonstrating your ability, and the final clarity or offer is likely to appear in summer when the process reaches the most visible stage. So do you notice what we did here? We didn't guess at a random date. We read the cycle of development, even though we do have some dates here. Timing works best when we look at patterns rather than single cards. As you're getting used to the date, absolutely do your single card pulls. But it's going to work better when you look at timing if you pull in a trio of cards like we did here. Major Arcana is going to show that larger life cycle. Minor Arcana is going to reveal seasonal windows. Elements are going to tell us the speed of progress. Numbers show us the phase within the process. So when you combine all those layers, timing stops feeling quite so mysterious and starts feeling a bit more structured, and we can sketch it out. Take your time when you are doing this. Pun intended. I want you to make notes, and I want you not to feel the pressure to read very quickly. If you're reading for friends, if you're practicing reading for friends or family or something like that, don't let them pressure into going, come on, give me an answer. Give me an answer, psychic. Take your time and explain to them that there is an academic quality behind divination, tarot specifically. It is a lot of information in these 78 cards. And when you turn them upside down, you get even more information. So take your time. Again, I want to stress, read in the upright while you're getting used to timing, while you're practicing your timing skills. Do this in the upright. Don't confuse yourself by adding the reverse cards in. You can add reversals in your other readings. Over the last few weeks, we explored one of the most challenging areas of tarot reading. I want you to be generous with yourself. Don't challenge yourself by reading for people that are going to push you to read quickly or by adding in those reversals and things like that. Timing is a rich asset on your reading repertoire. So hopefully you can see now that the cards contain a pretty logical framework, that we do have some really good indicators, some academic indicators in here. The tarot deck isn't random. It reflects cycles in nature, cycle in life. We have seasons, elements, phases, and we see the development of the Fool over that major arcana. So when we read those layers together, things become super, super clear. I hope that this series is enriching your practice, and I hope that this is giving you more enjoyment of my pop culture videos if you've been following those. And I hope that you guys will drop some questions down below. I love teaching. Like I said, I've been studying tarot as an academic for over 35 years, and I'm always learning something new. There's always something that we can dive into that makes our reading or a new facet of tarot reading open up for us. So I think it's great. If you want to see more lessons like this in the future, let me know in the comments what kind of topics you'd like me to explore, and what parts of tarot education you'd like me to break down. We can also talk about Lenormands, or any other form of divination, runes, anything you'd like. If it's a divination practice, I've done it. So I'd love to share my knowledge with you guys, and I will soon have some new lessons up. Right now, this is the only one that I have in the tank, and we're going to see how this floats. So I hope you enjoy these fun Sundays together, and I will see you in the future.